Alright, welcome back to Workout Wednesday. If you tuned in on Monday for Muscle Monday, you know we talked about the rotator cuff and the four muscles that make that up. Your infraspinatus, your supraspinatus, teres minor, and your subscap. I have two things in my hand, and if you don't have either one of them, get them. This is a foam roller, this is a tennis ball. Both really inexpensive, and both will be your best friend. So, we're going to talk today about how to address the issues that cause shoulder issues in the first place. That is a tight thoracic spine, both front and back. That means tight through the chest, tight through the muscles that make up that posterior chain, which means your rhomboids, your lats, part of your serratus, and part of that teres minor group, and of course the infraspinatus. What the heck do we do with this stuff? Well, we're going to roll out and do some self-myofascial release. So as a massage therapist, I do that myofascial release work for you, doing a bunch of tissue techniques and things like that. But, you know, if I'm not around, which I can't be everywhere at once, you guys need to know how to use this stuff and do it for yourself. It's called self-myofascial release. The way the fascia tissue works, it's like saran wrap over top of all of the muscles. There is no start and end point. It is all interwoven. So if you have shoulder issues, let's take a look at the areas surrounding the shoulder, chest and back, like I just said. Let's see what's causing that shoulder to sit in a dysfunctional position. Normal position for your shoulder joint is in line, down and back, and sitting correctly inside of its joint, that glenoid fossa. If it is not, which most likely it isn't, because 99% of us have a dysfunctional shoulder, whether or not we're presenting with injury. If it's not in that correct position, start training yourself to strengthen your back and loosen up the areas that are pulling it forward. Those areas would be your serratus anterior, pec minor, and your lats. They all attach to the humerus, and if they are too tight, it's going to pull you like this. If you drive, if you text, if you sit at a computer, 9 times out of 10 you will have this posture unless you are really adamant about taking care of your tissues and strength training correctly. So, let's talk about what to do with these things. Foam roller is a broad tool. This isn't going to sink into the tissues as deep as, say, as a small tool like a tennis ball. So let's address some of those areas with both. I'm going to start with my lats, my serratus anterior, and part of that medial or outside border edge of that scapula. You're going to take this. I use my top leg as sort of my moving leg. I'm going to relax the arm. I'm going to lift up so that I put my body weight on this. This will not be comfortable. What you are doing is searching and destroying. The rolling motion is the searching. I'm moving back and forth, being careful not to exceed too far past the joint space. I don't want to go too far out here and put too much pressure in the joint by having all of my weight being held by the humerus. I'm going to keep it right into that little concavity there in the armpit. I'm going to lift up. I'm going to roll. I can roll forward and back. What I'm looking for are spots that make me say, ow. As soon as I find those, I'm going to stay on that spot for 30 seconds to 2 minutes in order to break up that muscle tissue or the fascial tissue that's causing adhesions and for the muscles to be pinned into dysfunctional positions. It won't be comfortable. You can build up to that 2 minutes. Keep searching through that area. I'm going to go a little bit lower to get into that serratus. I can roll forward. I can roll back. Same thing. Now I'm going to address my back. If I need to support my head, I can. Don't pull on the neck, just rest your head. I'm going to roll like this, or I can cross my arms here, pulling those scapula out and around, and I roll right through here. I can also roll side to side as I'm rolling up and down. I'm going to get right to where I'm at the bottom of my rib cage, but not on those floating ribs and not on the kidneys. If I wanted to get a little more intense, I could take the tennis ball and do the same exact thing you just saw me do, but making sure this isn't directly on the spine, but on either side of the spine. So if this is my spine, I would have it here, or I would have it here. Rolling back and forth, arms crossed. The other thing you can do with your foam roller, carefully placing it on the back there, I'm going to lift my glutes, and I'm going to place my arms down on the ground and arching my back. Once I have my hands flat, I can drop the butt, and even you can see I'm tight through the thoracic. My hands come off. My goal is to keep the hands there, drop the glutes, and see if I can maintain contact. If I can't, I know I've got some work to do through this thoracic area as far as breaking up the tissues that aren't allowing that movement. As far as the chest goes, your tennis ball will be the greatest tool to really get in there and break this stuff up. Using your own hand or your own body weight. I'm going to show you hand first. You can relax the arm. Here is your chest bone. You're going to push right to the side of that. Roll out. You're going to get right out through here. Now, basically what I'm on top of right now is my pec major. The pec minor is the small muscle that I really want to address because that's what's pinning me and pulling me. I'm going to get in here. And if I want to make this a little bit more intense, I can lay on top of this, just like this. And it won't feel good, but you'll be able to address that area of tissue that is really causing some impeded movement. Get a tennis ball, get a foam roller. You should be addressing your tissues for at least 10 minutes a day, spending about 2 minutes per muscle group. If you have shoulder issues, make sure that you're really conscientious, and even if you don't, if you want to prevent shoulder issues, make sure you're conscientious to keep that shoulder blade down and back. That subscapularis that's in here, it's designed to pull us down and back and in that correct position. But if we have a pec minor that's overpowering it, or lats that are overpowering it and pulling us into this, that subscapularis has to work really hard, and we end up in these really crazy ranges of motion and patterns of movement. Injuries will occur. Prevent it by doing simple stuff. Take care of the tissues around it, making sure you are paying attention to your form, making sure you're putting yourself in correct body positions. If you know you stand like this, make it a conscious effort to change it. See you on Friday for Food Friday. Have a great day.